One of our guys, Terry, reminded me that it was only a couple years ago that we were here, and we were discussing what was it that we were actually showing. And it was as we were working on Katana 3, and we were on our way to, we had 2.6 out, we were on our way to Katana 3, and I was able to stand on stage to promise you that, yes, you will be able to move more than 2 lights at the same time. We've come a long way. So first off, I want to give you a bit of a summary of where we're at with Katana. So what is the community? What is the network? How is it growing? Because we've been busy, and frankly, a lot of you have been very busy hopping from studio to studio, basically saying how awesome it is to work in Katana, so thank you. We couldn't do it without you. But first off, let's just take a little summary of everything. That set of slides probably goes out of date on a month-by-month basis, so we're actually quite happy, and it's definitely keeping everybody in marketing on their toes. So I wouldn't be here if we didn't have the great responsibility and the great pleasure of making tools for you guys. So we take it to heart at Foundry, on the Katana, the Mari, the Nuke team, all the teams, that we are making tools that are here to improve your day. You know, we get to enjoy the movies that you make, we get to enjoy the TV shows that you make, but the inverse relationship is that we're here to make sure that you can do those great things without having to basically sacrifice your quality of life. So what drives everybody at Foundry is basically making tools for you guys. Because yes, the companies buy them, but if it's not the artists at the desk and the supervisors and the technology team putting them all together, then they wouldn't have purpose. As Jen mentioned, we've spent a lot of time working with education groups, so getting schools up to speed. We've had a great team that's been having great success just helping people understand how to teach Katana. We've included this in our education bundle, so if you know a school that doesn't teach Katana and they'd like to, but they already have Nuke, they already have Katana. In fact, they have Katana render nodes, and 3D render nodes. So that whole package shows together. It's basically download, install, and teach. And if you're a student or you know students, if you've not heard of our first year free program, that's available for students, so you can get a whole package for free for a year, and that includes everything as well. Okay, and one of my favorite bits of business I get to share with you is that I run a group of product managers that looks after Mari and Katana and Flix. But the most exciting part of it is actually that the Mari and Katana engineering teams are actually underneath one group. And yes, they work on different assignments, but this opportunity that we've had to sort of restructure has given us the ability to actually start thinking about really some nice deep interop between the two tools. So it's early days, but expect good things to come of this in the next couple of years. So what I want to do is set out a bit of a vision of what's going on at Foundry with Katana. So all of you know this. This is a bit of a mock-up, so some of the UI elements are different. But this idea of a tab-heavy interface, having access to every bit of information you ever wanted to know, and sometimes things you didn't, is what is kind of the Katana standard. But it's great. There are times and places where that is exactly what you need. But there are other times when you really just want to focus on look development. You want to be a lighting artist. Or you're worried more about details of a material or placement of a light than all the granular details of what attributes are on a point cloud. So to that end, we have been marching forward on our plan. We sort of shared bits and pieces of it 2 years ago. We've been talking about at SIGGRAPH and FMX, and so this is sort of a continuous thread. This is what my engagement with you is, to basically keep you up to date on where we see the needs of the industry, where are we along that path, and are we checking in at those points? Are the releases actually marching along that path? Or is there a change in the industry that means that we have to divert? So you can count on us having this kind of dynamic. So with Katana, what you're looking at here is a mock-up of where we're going to take the viewer. So there's a lot of buzz about hydro-rendered Alex, things like that, but this is really about part ray tracing, part GL, a lot of easy interactions with lights, being able to drop them in from a menu bar, floating parameter panes where you can actually set preferences on what parameters for individual nodes that you would like to see. So this is inspired partly by Nuke, partly by Moto. In Nuke, you can go into Roto Paint, you can take the viewer full screen. Everything you need is on the top and the left-hand side. Moto, similar idea, has little heads-up sliders that you can engage. But the idea is that it's the artist and the tool and the work. And that is for when it's the appropriate task in Katana, that is the ability we want to be able to offer you. So we'll cover through the rest of this evening which releases, how's that coming, what have we done so far. One of the things I can tell you about it, though, is that it does mean that we are taking the monitor and the viewer, so your 2D image viewport and your 3D viewport, and we're mashing them up. This gives us the most flexibility for creating the best workflows and for creating a tool or a set of code that is the easiest to maintain. We've got UI designers and UX designers that are going through and looking at all the possibilities. So this is one of our early markups. We're also now starting to refine things. So you can actually trigger a list of your AOVs that you can actually filter and search by name pattern and wildcard. And what will happen is as you come across, if I can get my mouse pointer over here, as you move across these, the image is actually going to change on the screen, and then you just walk off it, and then you can sort of isolate down to an AOV that you want to work with, move the lights around, have that light soloed. The difference between this and soloing a light in a live render is that you're not asking the render to recalculate, you're just showing the one that you want to work on, but you're just doing it in a very nimble way. It also means that we are looking into taking items of UX from Nuke and from Hero, wipes, magnifiers, things like that. So all the 2D tools that you need to do your job when it comes to image inspection and interaction will also end up in the 3D viewport. And then you'll also have the ability, just with monitor front and back buffers, to be able to also do a bit of a slap comp so you can see your work in context. So that's the overall plan. That's the trajectory we're on. Make a tool that is still super technical, super powerful, super customizable, but super tuned for the needs of look dev and lighting artists.